Hey, welcome back to the channel, traders. Today we're going to do a daily analysis video, kind of recapping what transpired today. We had CPI out. It was a good CPI report. The market rallied hard to begin the day in the pre-market, never to see those highs again. So we're going to take a look at the daily chart first on the SPY, and you can see I have it framed out kind of like this in this, excuse me, in this ascending wedge, and you can see this is getting tight. Here we go. We kissed it today. Let me zoom in a little bit. We pierced it, actually pierced through it, and then came back in, sold down to the bottom of it, and that's going to go a little bit. There we go. So you can see, went through it and opened above it actually, and then went a little bit higher, came down and closed inside it, but not before we kissed the very bottom of it on a pretty decent sell volume. So if we look at it on the 10-minute chart, I want to show you kind of how this was framed out today and what that looked like. So here's that pre-market announcement on CPI, rallied hard, sold down into it, sold through that level as I mentioned to you just moments ago on the daily, went up, tried to reclaim it, did reclaim it on a confirming candle on the 10-minute. However, that did not last. Came back through, rallied back up to the top of it, and then failed. And then, so then we sold all the way down to the bottom, kind of bear flagged the rest of the day. Had some decent buy volume, excuse me, at the end of the day. But yeah, that's kind of how that played out. Now let's look at it on the 4-hour chart because I wanted to show you a couple interesting things. So again, you see that wick above in the pre-market, and then we see this this nice red candle and then another red candle. Now let's also look at it on the 24-hour chart because I want to show you the difference. So check this out. This is super interesting, and that's why I always encourage you guys to look at it on both the daily and the 24-hour chart. We have this kind of small topping tail on the daily chart, right? Or on the 24-hour chart. If we go back to the daily chart, it looks different, right? So I always encourage you to look at it in both ways because as you're going to see as we go to the QQQ and the IWM, all of it looked the same. We have this kind of small topping tail on the 24-hour chart across all of them. And again, this isn't technically a valid topping tail because it's not the largest candle. You want topping tails, generally speaking, you want them to be large, that you want them to be like your largest candle, which would be about this size. But it's kind of a pseudo, it's a warning candle for sure. So I like to look at it this way. If we get tomorrow a close, well, here's what ultimately what we're looking for is we want a confirm. Let me update this line for you a little bit. Okay, so here's what we're looking for. Let's zoom that in. Here we go. Okay, perfect. So we did, let's see, that's on the 24-hour. Let's go back to the daily real quick. I just want to adjust these lines so they are absolutely precise. There we go. Yeah, I didn't think it closed below. Okay, good. So here's what we want to see to establish that it's game on to the downside. We need a candle close below this bottom bound of this ascending wedge. We want a candle close below it. We wick below it. That doesn't count. We want to close below it. And then we want another close below the low of the first candle. Okay? And I'll keep you updated as we go through this. But yeah, I'll show you what to look for. But that would be a confirming move. Just a close below it would not be a confirming move, right? So, okay, so let's proceed on to the QQQ. Let's update that. Similar story here on the daily. Let's update these lines so they are exact. Boom, boom. Okay, so on the daily chart, we have a very similar candle here, right? Closed inside, did not close below. Oops. And then let's go to the 24-hour chart. Boom, look at that, right? So looks like like I said, a very small topping tail, which gives me definitely pause, increasing sell volume. So you have that, and then on the 4-hour, we have a couple things. So on the 4-hour, it kind of looks like, yeah, so on the 4-hour, we do have a close below it. So another 4-hour close below that low, and that's confirmed. That would be a confirmed breakdown of that wedge. So QQQ is definitely is weaker than the SPY, than the SPY. So let's keep a close eye on that. We want a candle close below this candle. And then below that candle would even be better as definitely a confirming. So yeah, that's kind of what we're going to be looking at. Also, it's important to note we have bearish divergence. We have higher highs on the price and we have lower highs on the RSI. So you want to show you what that looks like. Boom, boom. So that, my friends, is bearish divergence on the 4-hour chart on the Qs. Now let's switch over to the IWM. And on the IWM, here you go. As you all know, we have this inverse head and shoulders. We have had a confirmed breakout of it. We hit the 200 SMA and a rejection, right? So we had the doji yesterday, indecision candle, didn't touch it, basically kissed it, and today we opened just below it, went up through it, and then sold down below it. So this is really an engulfing, let's see this on the daily, yeah, engulfing that entire body and wicks of the of that doji. So I anticipate, a move down, as I mentioned in previous videos, probably something like this in terms of pathing to test this breakout, right? Probably close this gap right here. See that gap right there? So maybe something like this, and then boom, shoot for that up into this demands or supply zone really at this point, because it's going to be flipped. So that's going to be a supply zone. So first target would be the bottom of the channel, and then the median, and then the top of the channel, assuming we get back in there. So that's my pathing on IWM. Also, I want to show you that's the Russell 2000. Also, I want to show you that on the 24-hour chart. Now that is a topping tail. So you can see how large that candle is. So on the 24-hour chart, definitely a topping tail on that chart. So definitely look for that look down in here. I will be a buyer down in this zone, in this retrace for sure. We might even overthrow it. Russell 2000, IWM is notorious for doing that on a daily basis. We might even come back down, and don't be surprised if we do something like this even, right? Retest the breakout of that. I wouldn't be surprised. And would that put us in a failed inverse head and shoulders? Possibly. It really just depends. So we'll definitely want to pay attention to that price action as it happens. So those are the major indices. I don't really do the Dow. I can if you wanted in the next one, just let me know. But I did see, a lot of the high flyers, GE Veranova, CEG. I mean, just a lot of stocks that have been, even Netflix has been soaring, has been selling off the last couple of days. They had a nice little rebound today, which was a little interesting, just kind of a dead cat bounce, I think. But it's all clues that I think we are putting in somewhat of a pivot top high. I think we're going to come in, have somewhat of a retrace before we probably and most likely do go to all new all-time highs. My target on the S&P is that 6250, 6300. But I do think we are going to get a correction, because just look at this move. I mean, wow, it's been nothing but vertical. We've essentially launched out of the pre-tariff stuff, the tariff news, and here we are. So without really any pullback besides this one here. And that's on the IWM, going back to the SPY, right? You had this little pullback on this breakout, but that's about it. So yeah, so I think we have a little bit of downside. You can see if you look at the VIX is picking up. The VIX picked up today. Still, kind of formed this little doji here on the VIX. I can see us coming back up, maybe getting rejected maybe from here. But I do see some fear coming back into the market. Yeah, that's kind of how I see things. So hopefully you guys found value in this today's analysis. As always, all I ask for in return for this great content and giving you the opportunities that I'm seeing in the market, ways we can all make money together, is just smash that like button, give me some love. Trying to build this channel, trying to grow, following, so that my time in investing in doing these videos is worth it, and everybody is learning and making money along the way. That's all I'm looking for out of this. So I hope everyone had a great day and has a great evening, and I will see you on the next one. Thanks, guys. Take care. Bye.